My name is Baboucarr Saho. I'm a Gambian, a citizen of the Republic of the Gambia, a businessman and entrepreneur. Right. So I think this creates an opportunity for anybody who is into the horticulture business. You have a window in the year, a 3-month window, that you know that there will be a moratorium that government will impose, on the importation. And then at the same time, there's a huge demand for that particular commodity. And you know that it takes a gestation period of 45 to 60 days to get that gestation, to get the commodity ripe and up for market. So why don't you, calibrate yourself as a farmer, young or old, to understand that timetable so that you can deliver within that scope and be able to gain value. Because one thing is also important, government has created this opportunity, right? So we also have to take it up and populate that time frame, which gives policy the confidence that, okay, if we extend it to another month, maybe 2, the private sector will be able to maintain the demand, for this particular commodity. But until then, to build that confidence within the system that we're able to meet the demand, I think we will still be struggling within the 90-day period of the moratorium. But there are a lot of advantages to work out, within this time period. And you will see that whereas one of the reasons why particularly our neighbors will take advantage of shortages, this is what happens. So every time, if you observe the lumos, and vegetable places where they sell vegetable, there's always a market glut. You'll see that at some point there's just tomatoes everywhere. Most of them go bad. You see okra everywhere. Most of them go bad. And at some point there's a shortage. So what happens is that our neighbors understand this, and they have enough storage facility at their end. It's just minutes across the border. So they will come to the market and then wait for 5 o'clock. That's all they need to wait for. Because the women know that at 5 o'clock, they don't want to take these tomatoes home and then bring them back. So our neighbors are standing and waiting. They know that they can get it at a discounted price at that time of the day. So they will get that, store it. In a matter of 2-3 weeks, when there's drought in the market, they come and offload the same commodity at a higher price on the same women. So you see the drift. Thank you for inviting me.
Are we operating in a free market? If yes or no, is it beneficial? What's your view? I know you have some different views about this free market thing.
Yeah.
Can we say we're operating in a free market?
I guess the idea of a free market is demand and supply. But then we have to make the free market work for us. The free market has to work for us. So the free market, for it to make sense, it has to work for the people. Because also, even as a business person, an entrepreneur, an economic operator, we do not want crony capitalism. We don't want crony capitalism. Nor do we want rent seeking. You see? So what happens is that through policy, we can have a very strategic way of identifying what to protect and what not to protect. And I think to protect, we can protect the things that we produce, and not necessarily, some other commodities like cement. So in that regard, let's say something like groundnut. If government says that they've put a restriction in the exportation of groundnut because we're building internal capacity, or we've built internal capacity to process to groundnut oil, I mean, the private sector would complement that. We will also establish our factories, and factory lines to complement government efforts to turn that groundnut into groundnut oil. But that is not what we have currently. What we have is that government wants to be the only entity to buy groundnut and export that groundnut. Because their argument would be, well, we provide subsidized fertilizer to the farmers. But what they forget to tell you is that that subsidy that we used to provide for the farmers is from taxes we took from the private sector. So you cannot argue that because you took taxes or public funds to subsidize fertilizers, therefore you should be the only entity to buy those groundnuts. That is not fair, because your role as a government is not to be an economic operator in the sense that of the groundnut trade. I mean, we can all have an equal opportunity where we can all source from the farmers and then we all export. But to restrict it to have a lone or a single, I mean, exporter really doesn't sit down well with the private sector.